Your book, Reality Revolution, when anyone reads that, there's so many techniques in there that are just so transformational.
Right.
It's like you
I'm
are
proud of that. Yeah.
what you've done with your life is it's
Hmm.
like Joe Dispenza's work on steroids. Like you literally are the guy that has figured out how to hack your reality, right?
Welcome to the Reality Revolution. Today I have a very special episode. Consider this sort of a podcast update. I wanted to speak to my audience about the state of the podcast and some really amazing news on some future events. I have Kyle Boyd with me, my brother from another mother. How you doing, brother?
Awesome. And I have some really exciting things to
Oh
share about
man.
you. So
So we both
things that are just next level, crazy, amazing.
Oh man, I can't wait to share with everybody. And it's finally happening. That's all I'm going to say. Just stick with us. We have an announcement. There's a few people that are on in our groups that have heard some of this, but we're so excited about it. We've got such a great response, and I cannot wait to share this about it. But first, we kind of wanted to catch up and talk about YouTube, the podcast, what we're how our spiritual journeys have been, what's been going on in the world. And I love to talk to Kyle about this stuff all the time. Not in interviews. We talk on the phone. We talk, we text. We talk all the time about what's going on. And I kind of wanted to have everybody just share in our conversation. So tell me what you've been up to since we last spoke, brother.
Oh man, we do the heart coherence challenges. So basically,
Hmm.
we send everyone in our group a heart coherence meditation every day for 30 days. And we've just been meeting the most incredible people as part of that journey. And our group has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And we've been interviewing more amazing guests. And now we're at the point where we want to find a way to meet with our community in the real
Yeah.
world. So that's where we're at now.
Yeah. Yeah. Your YouTube channel has been amazing, but we go all the way back. It's been 7 years now. Seven
Yeah,
years since we
several
started.
years. Yeah.
It feels like it's gone by like that so quickly. But when I first met you, you were with the Quantum Healing Collective,
Yes.
and you had asked me to come on and do a sort of group meditation with you. And you had been a fan of my channel. And this is right when, I have like 2,300 episodes. And then by then I'd less than 100, right? Or maybe less. It was from at the very beginning. You caught one of my first episodes and we were talking almost right away, right?
Yeah, I think you had like 5,000 subscribers. It was very,
Right? I had
yeah.
just begun. And through us working together, I've got to watch Kyle's journey into this amazing network where you're interviewing some incredible. Talk about some of the people that you've been interviewing, man. I keep on, every time I pull it up, I see these amazing interviews.
Yeah, there's really not everybody in the spiritual community we've just become really good friends with. Daryl Anka Bashar, he
Bashar,
has
yeah.
such a huge following, and we interview him pretty much once a month.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah, we've become friends with
Yeah.
Pam Gregory. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Pam
Hmm.
Gregory.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone who hasn't checked out Pam, she's amazing. She has the most vibrant energy. We love Pam so much. Lee Harris, Paul Selig.
Hmm.
We try to get that group on every couple months, and they do everything from energy updates. People love energy updates, and people love
Oh,
channeling.
yeah. Yeah.
And the algorithm loves
Yeah.
energy updates and channeling.
Yeah.
So we love all these guests, and it also really helps us when they come on. And they're just sharing mind-blowing things about what they believe is going on energetically. And then on top of that, if they're bringing in some cosmic being, people just go crazy for it.
Oh, yeah. It's super fascinating.
Yeah,
But you mentioned the algorithm, and we were talking about this before this started, and it really feels like the spiritual space on YouTube
yeah,
and in podcasting is being affected by the algorithm. People are creating content, me included, based upon the algorithm. People when we see that,
have to, right? I
right,
mean,
and part of the algorithm is determining what the number of views are.
yeah,
A lot of people don't understand that. The algorithm will push that video. What I've found interesting is the evolution of the For You page. When we first started, there was this sort of guru model on YouTube where one person could have a channel about everything. Any topic that came to their mind, they could talk about it. But then once the For You page became dominant it became you watch one video and then the algorithm tries to determine based on the video that you watch what other videos that you will watch. And then they will create what your next video is. It's not necessary. People are choosing less and following the algorithm more. And so if I have a popular video on, say, money manifestation, then that becomes my audience. But if I have another video on, how to play basketball, then
Yeah,
the algorithm is then trying to figure out, okay, we need people that are interested in money manifestation and playing basketball at the same time, which splits the audience,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So, I've encountered this and it's changed my channel. People have noticed I'm doing, on certain topics more often than in the past.
yeah.
Um, and I was wondering about your impression of that and
Yeah,
watching
well,
other
it's kind of
channels
like what I
change
was
their
just saying,
content.
like when I started interviewing, we started our channel, and for a very long time, our subscriber base was increasing very slowly, and I was
Right,
just interviewing anybody I wanted, and they were like my friends, and I would interview them,
right,
and you know, the videos were not getting any views,
right.
and then I had a channeler on one time, and a lot of people started watching that, right?
Hmm.
But then if I wouldn't have a channeler on, nobody would watch the videos. And I mean,
Right,
we had some people that would love our stuff and they would show up, but it wasn't going to anybody else, right?
right, right.
And so I kind of was like, all right, now we have two channelers on, and the next time I have another channeler on, the algorithm boosts it out to that group
Right.
of people. And
Yeah.
and now we're getting tens of thousands of views every time we have a channeler on.
Right.
So that literally plays to, all right, this is where the algorithm wants me to go. And
Hmm.
so it kind of had me go in that direction. But then what I found was like, I've had other huge name guests on that aren't channelers and they don't get any views because I'm somehow now the algorithms pigeon me and
Right.
hold me into this one group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've taken to just purposely putting out content that I know is not going to get as many views because I
Yeah.
still need to get the message out and the teaching out. For instance, I had an episode, the secret power of the primal scream, which we
Uh,
were talking about on the phone, right? Like I did this deep research and I found the most amazing things going back to when I was teaching public speaking.
mm,
Where when I was teaching public speaking at the University of Wyoming, I had a bunch of really nervous students that couldn't get up and speak, and I had to figure out a way during their thing to transform them. I even had basketball players, football players, but they would get so scared and nervous when they get up to speak, right? So I brought them all out to the main area at the University of Wyoming, and we did the primal scream. We screamed as loud as we could for as long as we could, and I just saw their eyes light up. They were so excited. They came in and spoke with confidence after that in that one bit, right? So I started remembering this, and I wanted to follow what I always do, just do a deep research on this. And there's all these studies, instantaneous Kundalini awakenings, clearing and balancing all chakras immediately within a 10-second period.
so,
People crying, like crying out for mom and coming away totally healed from major traumas, like the release of traumas that don't come back, right? And this is what we would talk about in our spiritual. This is something we would talk about, right? But as soon as I put Primal Scream on there, it had nothing to do with the money manifestations or the other stuff. It was one of the lowest views videos that I'd had in years, right? Nobody
yeah.
nobody wanted to watch it, right?
Mm.
So I'm fascinated by how it has changed certain researchers in focusing on something that's effective instead of just something that a lot of people want to
Yeah.
watch. Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
along
so
that line,
we've kind of like rode that wave of, where the algorithm is sending us while trying to be authentic as
to be
ourselves
authentic,
and
right?
incorporate in, the elements of what we love. But
Right.
it's definitely difficult. And like you said, we're okay with just putting out content that we know is not going to get any views, and we do that all the time.
Right.
But we have to mix in these other,
You want to pay for your channel and you want it to thrive and succeed so you can continue doing it, right? So and along those means it kind of links into what this thing that this secret that we talked about at the beginning. And so I wanted to share that background because a lot of people have been you and I,
yeah,
we and Leah we have participated in three amazing events
yeah,
on my channel. I've only ever had and shared three events. You see YouTubers that are doing it every other week. They're hosting events all over the place, right? And then
yeah,
I get to people, Brian, why aren't you doing more events? Why
Yeah.
aren't you doing this?
Why aren't you doing more events?
Why aren't you doing
Why,
retreats, you know?
yeah, why aren't you?
Yeah, well, it's a good you've come to me multiple times asking for more retreats. And we did those
Yeah.
three events. It's been about 3 years, hasn't it? Since we
Well,
did
the biggest thing that I've been asking you for the longest time is when are you going to do one in person? When are
when
you
when,
going
when am
to?
I going to do we've been talking about this and working on it. And
Yeah,
I've always wanted to do because that's an opportunity where I'm not worried about the algorithm,
right.
where I can really focus on what I'm specializing in and I can really create transformation, you know? And
Yeah.
so we did the first event was the aura technique where we talked about reality actualization. The second was on the new earth shift. That was amazing, right? Remember that? And the
That was a
third was
great
the
show.
large sums of money conference. Each one we focused on one thing and then
Yeah.
we went all out. We had some amazing guests and people and experiences. And these were all transformative experiences. I still have people that are watching these recordings coming to me all the time. You know what I mean? It's really amazing to create something and watch it over time, continuously helping people, right? But then, I wanted to do something so authentic, so powerful in these events. I didn't want to just do it for people paying me money. It wasn't about me making money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It didn't feel authentic or right for me to just put on an event.
Mm,
So I stopped for a while.
mm.
I have people that are coming to me all the time. I've had some amazing offers. People have offered for me to come and speak at certain places, and even offered to purchase a place for me to speak. And I could have done that, but I
Mm.
wasn't ready. And I want people when they talk about reality revolution to, if they envision what I'm doing, is I'm basically in the lab. I got my doctor's coat on, and every
You are
day
in the lab. I
I'm
mean,
in the
you
laboratory,
really
right?
are, and
Yeah.
that's why when I've come to you, it's like it's not like me asking you. It's kind of like me telling you, like you have to do this because
You have enabled that for me for sure.
your your book, Reality Revolution. When anyone reads that, there's so many techniques in there that are just so transformational.
Right.
You know, it's like you
I'm
are
proud of that. Yeah.
what you've done with your life is it's
Hmm.
like Joe Dispenza's work on steroids. Like you literally are the guy that is figured out how to hack your reality, right? And you have the most amazing meditations in the world. But you hear people who do like Joe Dispenza's meditations in person, and then they go to a Joe Dispenza event, and
Hmm.
it's just different. And with all the effort you've put into your art, people deserve a real in life Brian Scott event because of how transformational it will be.
Absolutely. It's something I've wanted to do, but I want to do it right. I
Well,
wanted
let's
to
talk
do it
about it.
right. And I wanted to develop a technique that was so powerful, so transformative that I can recreate it and I can do it so that I know in my heart 100% that this is going to change their life, right? So what I did going back to let's talk about my channel, what I've actually been teaching. This is
Right.
not about the views. We're not trying to get the algorithm. This is sharing the state of our podcast, really getting people to know us. In fact, if people watch this for the first time, they can
Yeah.
truly understand the reality and go back and watch some of the videos that I'm talking about. At the beginning of my channel, I was teaching about shifting into parallel realities. And like you
Mm,
mentioned in my book, that was my focus. The reason I have the reality revolution is because of my book. At the time, I was like, nobody's gonna know about my book. So I need to create some YouTube videos. Maybe by knowing about me on YouTube, they can buy my book. That was the original purpose. So I started creating a video and then I was like, this is a lot of fun. I'm really getting an opportunity to share what I'm learning in the process of my evolution, of my own spiritual journey, and people are on the same wavelength as me. And so I've had the opportunity from the very beginning, 7 years ago when I started doing these meditations and I would do these teachings. We taught about Neville Goddard. We taught about Joseph Murphy. We taught about New Thought authors. I read audiobooks. But the primary focus has been shifting into parallel realities because of an experience I had that was so profound, a period in my life that was so insane, so amazing that I have focused my entire life around it since it happened. I had a near-death experience where some people had tried to shoot me and a bullet bounced off my back. And in this sort of timeless moment, I saw all my different realities. And when I walked away from this experience, still living, I was convinced as I started to like experience the world around me that I was not in the same world anymore. And so then I started deeply researching shifting realities. Of course, I knew, understood it as a science fiction fan, but I was experiencing missing objects, things showing up that weren't there before, where I seen parks show up where there were houses before, changes in the geography, uh, really incredible changes in the people around me, where I was convinced, even having to go to a psychologist and say, look, something's wrong with me. I'm experiencing things, and my dad had been suffering from dementia, so I was worried, am I experiencing some sort of problem with my memory? And I was told that I wasn't, right? I started, this became my day-to-day passion. So I was going to physicists and talking about, could this happen? A lot of them would not talk to me or talk, but I found some really amazing information. And during this period, I started experimenting with it heavily. I began to read the reality. I began to read reality transurfing, which sort of gave me the beginning inroad to this concept. Then I started reading Frederick Dotson's Parallel Universes of Self, which is just one of the best books ever about shifting realities. Then I read Cynthia Sue Larson's quantum book on quantum jumping and Bert Goldman's book on quantum jumping. And I started I tried every single technique. Like I was an astronaut. I was out there trying everyone. I was constantly just in my room meditating and experience life. And I saw complete changes in my reality. I became someone else. I underwent major identity shifts. I started to ride the wave of this, realizing that it was sort of a superpower. But then I felt like I needed to recreate this for other people. And so I started using these techniques with other people in my meditations, and I started to see transformations that were so incredible
Yes.
that, ultimately right now I'm addicted to transformation.
Yeah.
My science is the science of seeing others go through major significant transformations. So something I did a couple of years ago, I had been doing some coaching, and if people follow my channel and my group, at one point I even said, I don't know if I can really do coaching right now. It doesn't feel right. I wanted to really my coaching to be effective. And I started working with a select few people and then started expanding. And then I was always like saying to people that emailed me I couldn't do it or I wasn't able to respond because I was getting so many responses. And so finally I decided I'm gonna take every coaching appointment that I possibly can get. I'm scheduling them all, and I'm gonna dedicate my time. So what I started using is these one-on-one coaching sessions where I could try to coach them through their transformation,
Mm.
utilizing these quantum jumping and reality transurfing. And so over time, I had a technique that evolved, which is I'm temporarily calling the future self walk-in integration technique. Some people have gotten a taste of it in some of my meditations as it's evolved, but I was taking clients in a vibrational sense in a guided meditation after I've gotten a chance to really get to know them, utilizing techniques that I've learned in hypnosis and frequency techniques and language patterns. I was taking people into the quantum realm where they were accessing their perfect timeline and they were experiencing events in that timeline, then connecting to their future self who has lived that whole entire life and that future self walking into their body and
Yeah.
be integrating into their consciousness. And so I was seeing clients go through these incredible identity shifts where they are one person at the beginning of the session and they're walking away carrying their shoulders differently, talking, and I'm starting to get the most amazing messages from them. I've had
Mm.
people that had gone from a desire to be in music to signing record deals and going on tour. I've had actors getting acting roles. I just had someone recently that when I first talked to them, they were like, I have this investment that I've been trying to get back my money on for 5 years, they were saying. And then when they came to me, I went through this process with them, and they had within 3 weeks $209,000 in this investment, everything working out perfectly, where they were able to cash out that investment and pay off, right? And at the beginning of this, I was just like, what can I do? How can I create a system? As I've started to experiment with myself,
Mm.
I started to realize beyond quantum jumping, beyond a lot of the meditation techniques, I had created a system so that people could undergo the most profound transformation you could ever imagine, where they're not only just actually, manifesting a new house or a new job or a new girlfriend or becoming healthy. All those things are happening. They're manifesting the best life they could ever live, ever, of all the lives they've ever lived and all the lives available to them in the multiverse, right?
Oh,
It's such an exciting idea. So I've been sharing this with you,
mm,
and you've been sharing, come on, we got to do a live event.
mm,
And then I've been, and I finally figured out after seeing the returns and sharing it with you, we figured out a way we could do this for a 3-day retreat with a small enough group of people where I could basically almost be working one on one, but I think it's going to be even better because we're going to form like our little own spaceship and together, working together, shift into the optimal timeline. And you found the most amazing estate in
yeah.
Maine where we could put on this event. So now, for the first time, for the people in my group that knew about this beforehand, I'm announcing our retreat at the Golden Heart Estates in Maine, and we can give you all the details for 3 days from September 26th through the 28th. You were able to find this location, and it's like the most amazing location, right? Talk to me about it.
Yeah, so I use some of my own reality creation techniques, but Leah and I had been wanting to meet with our community and hold a retreat space. So we went and we wrote down all the things we wanted in a retreat space, and I went on Airbnb. And the first, our YouTube channel is the Heart Coherence Collaborative. The first place we saw when we went on Airbnb, it was beautiful. We found the Golden Heart Estates, and I clicked on the picture, and it had everything we wanted. The Airbnb listing. It was literally perfect. It
And just
looked
look
like
at this. We have it posted. We're playing video of it right
yeah,
now as you're talking,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. So I mean, it was mind blowing, and I had to go there immediately. So I reached out to the guy and I asked him like, "Hey, because he was holding weddings there. Like when you see this, it's a wedding venue." And I was like, "Would you be open to hosting spiritual retreats there?" And he started asking me questions, and he was like, "Dude, I love everyone that's on your YouTube channel." So we instantly hit it off, the guy who owns
Hmm.
the place and I. And he's like, "Come on up." And so Leah and I went up there, and I can't even put it into words, man. This place is actually so, so special. It's so magical. For you, there's a temple on the property specifically for meditation. It's like
Oh
a
wow.
shrine,
Uh-huh.
but once you get in there, there's this aura that is going, it's going to be perfect. Like it's the perfect place for you to
So
host
how many people
that.
can we bring in there into that meditation space?
Well, so we can fit. I mean, it depends how many you want to fit, but there's 20 rooms for people
Right.
to sleep at this mansion. So
Hmm.
there's amazing rooms all throughout the mansion. Um, and then there's this meditation facility. And then there's just this beautiful 55-acre property that's absolutely captivating. And
Which
so,
we are definitely going to be walking around in as a
yeah,
part of this, right?
yeah,
It's got a pool.
it's enchanted, man. Like I'm telling you, when you go there, I'm so excited to be there with
Yeah,
my kids.
we're going to have a chef as well, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, private chef, like all that stuff. Um, couldn't have a better
Amazing.
property, and it's the perfect place for you to be hosting this event. So
So it felt heaven sent. It's felt like so perfect. So I couldn't say no. It felt like we have been waiting all this time for this, and this is the new reality con. We finally found it. And, even before announcing, we've already had several tickets that have already been purchased. And
yeah,
so it won't be very long until we sell this out. And I want to meet everyone in person. I will. I'm going to get to know you. We're going to become the best of friends. We're going to travel to another universe together. I'm going to
yeah.
be your bus driver into the multiverse, right?
So
And we're going to go through every part of this process. We're not going to just do the shift. We're going to go through the process of what happens after you shift into a timeline and what it means. We're going to come away energetically in a different place. I'm pulling out every tool in the bag, everything that we can imagine. I've shared with you that we're going to do so many amazingly cool things. And so we're going to discuss the elements of this, and then we're going to go through the shift, then we're going to continue quantum jumping and continue shifting together what's amazing about this in a small group like this, it becomes a mastermind, right? It's not even about I'm a facilitator, you're a facilitator, but what happens when eight people or more come together, right? And we start sharing and working together with our energies. It's like a bunch of computers joining on a server, and it becomes so much more. It's so much more expanded. 20 equals 1,000, right?
Yeah.
When we're working together energetically to shift together, it becomes the most amazing that can only happen in a retreat. There is
Yeah.
no way that I can share this on in a virtual session. There's no way that I can do this through any YouTube video. I could do an 8 hour, it still would never be the same. There's no way that we can facilitate this. And we are planning on setting these sessions up in multiple places. We found some amazing locations throughout the planet that we plan on going. And this is going to be the first time and you can participate in this event being one of the first people, those first astronauts that set on the moon. You can be one of those first people and you can help facilitate them as well. This is such an exciting opportunity. My point is, how could you avoid this? If you have the opportunity and you're able to go, I want to meet you. I want to help you through this process. And I know that this doesn't sound like the normal Brian Scott but I'm passionate about this. I really, really want to help you. And this may be one of the best ways for me to do it, right? You can still get a lot out of my meditations that I provide and my books that I've written, but I will never be able to provide the service I want, which is the sweet science of transformation. I want to create a transformation in you and everyone that's watching. And I'm super passionate about this. And I think this is it. I think we found the way, right? And it's never the first time is always the best when we do it, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
And
um,
there's also going to be karaoke. I know that
yes, just
we
like
talked
our
about
first
it.
three sessions in RealityCon, on Saturday night we do karaoke. And to me, that's the best. That's the vibration of already having achieved everybody's celebrating and singing along. They're not worrying what anybody else thinks. It awakens the throat chakra. It's so much fun. We've had so much fun doing that. Can you imagine us doing it in person, all just
Oh,
hanging out? The thing is, I have a lot in common with a lot of creators on YouTube and people that do these events.
mm,
I'm actually coaching several people that run retreats. So I've got to get a perspective from them, people that's what they do for a living. You know what I mean? I have maybe 80% of my clients that I'm working with are going to Joe Dispenza events and then coming back to me in our sessions talking about what revelations and what they experienced, right? So what I've always found, I know that you and I were talking about this. You've been to a number of retreats, right?
I mostly virtual retreats, honestly.
Mostly virtual. I've
Yeah,
been to a couple in-person retreats and
yeah,
they're so memorable. But what I always found is that you can be super high energy and super excited, and then after 3 days you go home and you get sucked back into your world, and the
mm,
change doesn't stick. And
yeah,
I've even seen the most energetic, complete, profound changes, and then people go home. So what I've been trying to figure out is how can we make a permanent change, something that's so dramatic and imagine it's always been sort of my dream. Like you meet this one person, and he says these things to you over a couple of days, and then your whole life was changed forever, right?
yeah,
That's what I want to facilitate. I want to be in this process, and as people learn this, they can do that themselves. They can enable others to do it. This is the beginning of the new earth. And at the same time, it's the beginning of a level of prosperity, which is a lot of time people in the spiritual community, they kind of treat money like it's this separate thing, but it's 100% linked.
yeah,
We're teaching how to enter into a level of prosperity that goes beyond anything you can imagine, where you're receiving large sums of money, but also prosperous in happiness, in
yeah,
time, which is one of the things I get from my clients the most, is they want to be free to do
mm,
what they want when they want, a prosperity and authentic social connections where you're meeting people that you genuinely care about, that care about you. And a lot of people are outside of that vibration right now. I'm talking about a level of prosperity, not just where you're prosperous, but one where you're healed, where you're in love, where you're happy, where everything seems to be working out for you, where it is too good to be true, where everything is working to your advantage, where the most wonderful things continuously happen and everything is getting better and better and better and better. And I to see this in other people And to be a facilitator is my dream of the greatest reality. To
Mm,
be a catalyst for people to say, okay, anything is possible. Because when you start watching the news right now, and when you start watching other people and hearing their stories, the stress, the worry, the concern, they get focused on the economy, it can feel helpless right now.
yeah,
We're watching a social media feed that is indoctrinating us and is programmed to make us feel like doom is around the corner, that it's impossible for us to change, that nothing good will happen, that it's all just a joke, that everything is just a behind the scenes conspiracy where we're being manipulated. But I promise you, if you're out there and you're hearing this, there is a way out. There's a light, and I want to take you there. There's a way for you to live your life that is so profound that everything that you ever imagined possible goes along the wayside. And this is so profound, so amazing. I know I sound crazy when I'm talking, but I know you haven't heard this side of me, but I'm sharing this from my heart. I want to meet you. I want to see you. And I hope that you can join us for this event, right?
yeah. Yeah,
It,
and all I would say is like I've been to some of your past events and they haven't been in person, but my warning would be to people is do not come unless you're ready to have your entire
correct.
life transformed. And
Yeah,
no, that's not a joke. That's literally everybody that comes to these events. It is mind-blowing transformations.
absolutely. So you can find more information about this at www.realityrevolutionretreat.com. And we have the link and you can find it in the description. You can reach out to Kyle or me. It's really easy to reach Kyle, and there's also a contact form on that website. If you have any questions, we can help you with the questions. We can work this through. And, I just can't wait to meet everybody and to experience this. We have some special surprises that are going to be a part of this. As I mentioned to Kyle, I want to send everybody a free copy of my newest book. And which is Activate Your Unlimited Power. They'll get a digital copy. I'll make sure to email it to everybody so that they can get a chance to read that, which is a part of this. And they're going to have some access to the recordings. We're going to record the event so they can go back and experience some of these meditations. They're going to gain allies because the people at the event we're there to work with you, and you're going to meet some of the most amazing people ever because people that are willing to invest in their shift like this, these are the most amazing people in my experience. When you meet people that invest in shifting in their timeline, that have real dreams, that want to see that better life, and you get all of these people together, it becomes like a virus that catches on. It's so exciting, right? That's what I find about in a live event, you start to share energies. So their energies become a part of your energies. And so we're going to be the energy of transformation. It's I'm so excited, man. So
Yeah,
excited.
yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to be picking everyone up at the airport, shuttling
Right.
them over to the place. I just can't wait to see everyone's face when they
Right.
actually arrive at the Golden Heart Estates and see how amazing it is. You
Once you
know,
get tickets, let us know. And Kyle's going to be the shuttle that will pick you up from the airport and take you there. And, we're going to have the most amazing breakfasts. We're going to have the most amazing experiences. And so, I just can't wait to meet everybody. And we're almost there. So it's going to be amazing.
yeah,
So,
and the tickets are flying, so we would love to have you come. So
right,
just if you're interested, reach out quickly.
right.
Yeah,
But you also have an event that you have coming up. That's the 10
yeah,
day heart
yeah. So
challenge. Tell me about
starting
that.
um, July 17th through the 31st, we are having we're going to be sending everyone in our group a heart coherence meditation every day, but then we're
Hmm.
releasing interviews with amazing guest speakers. So we have, like I said, Pam Gregory is going to be live on Zoom for that.
Hmm.
Daryl Hank is going to be live. You're going to be guiding a live meditation.
Hmm.
It will actually be kind of like a preview of what people will be getting at
Yes,
the Golden Heart,
100%.
which I'm really excited for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have so many amazing, Roland McCready. We have many experts in the field of heart coherence. So heart coherence is what Leah and I focus on. And
Right.
so it's basically, rhythmic breathing through your heart and then accessing elevated emotions. So this is a perfect way to get yourself in a peak state before coming to our retreat. Um, but yeah, for these 10 days, we're going to be raising our vibration and just hearing from the most amazing speakers in the world. And I'm really proud of this event. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, if you're listening, go to www.heartcoherencecollaborative.com and you can sign up and you'll be sent a meditation every day for free. It's all free. It's just my passion and what we love doing.
And what's exciting is I've integrated the heart coherence teachings that you've given me into this technique. It
Yeah.
is a fundamental part because once you are connected, and I'm teaching you something that is so different than you've heard from anybody else that teaches reality shifting or quantum jumping. Can, and that is that you have this intelligence that enters your body, as I've experienced now, where your future self walks into your body and you can start accessing your future self knows everything that's going to happen for you, right?
Yeah.
It knows everything. It knows who's going to win the Super Bowl, what stocks are going to be popular. It knows everything, right? But the thing I struggled with at the beginning was how, once it happens, how can I get my clients to access the intelligence of the future self? And it's different than just regular intuition, right? It's this heightened, specific sort of intuition that says, if you do this, it will lead you to this, right? And I started in work realizing that if you go into coherence, that you
Yeah.
could create that connection to the future self. And
Yeah.
so we create anchors during this process of using the heart coherence as a way of creating an anchor to this literal intelligence that's inside of you. And so it's so amazing how both of us working, it's like we were brought together by forces of the universe to bring us to this point. And I recommend everybody learn about heart coherence. It's one of the most amazing technologies that's available. There are so many people that can vouch for it. It seems simple, but it has complexities to it, and the evidence is so profound. And you've seen so many people go through these incredible transformations,
I
right?
would have to say this is the best 10-day free event that exists.
All right.
So,
No,
yeah,
and your events are free. It's amazing. You know what I'm saying? So it's so exciting, and so many people share in those events. It's so exciting to be a part of.
yeah, yeah.
100%. Yeah. So everybody, it's heartcoherencecollaborative.com. And then you can look up Heart Coherence Collaborative or Kyle Boyd on YouTube or Leah Rush on YouTube. And you'll be taken to their page and you can see some of those amazing interviews. And so just once again, I want everybody to join us and I can't wait to meet you. Kyle and Leah are going to be a part of it. And I just can't wait to be a part of this. We had to do just a short little interview here so that we could share this event. And thank you for joining me today. I really
Uh,
appreciate it, brother.
I can't wait, man. Based off of everything you said, this is going to be a dream come true for me. And I'm really excited to meet everyone that comes and joins us.
Yeah, I mean, phew, I can't wait. I'm so excited. www.realityrevolutionretreat.com and welcome to the Reality Revolution.
We return you now to your local announcement.